Hey everyone, WorldFilmGeek here, and we're kicking October off with an interview with the awesome, iconic Lin Shaye, a horror icon in her own right. This is her third appearance on WorldFilmGeek. The first was in 2016 for Abbatoir, and the second was last year for Room for Rent. She's best known for her role as Elise Rainier in the Insidious franchise, as well as other iconic horror films. Her latest film, The Call, co-starring Jigsaw himself, Tobin Bell, will be released tomorrow in select theaters and drive-ins. Enjoy the interview. Oh, let's get into The Call. That I saw the trailer over the weekend and it blew me away. The second you appeared
Oh,
on the
great.
screen, I knew you were going to make an impact. And I was like, I cannot wait for this to come out. And, I remember you telling me you're a storyteller, and this is by far one of the best. It's going to look like it's going to be one of the best ones you've done.
Oh, great. I'm glad. I'm glad the trailer does that. Makes you feel that way. That's exciting and important.
So, can you tell us a little bit about your character Edith in the film?
Well, Edith is a very nice woman who's happily married to Tobin Bell, which is also very good. His name is Edward Cranston in the film, and it was a pleasure. I'd never met Tobin, believe it or not, even though we both have James Wan and Lee Winnell in common to jumpstart our careers, I think, in some respect. And so we are basically a happily married couple for many years. Edith runs a child care center, and has some bad stuff happen to her by these kids who are in her town, who end up being, they're kind of wise guys, just teenagers really,
Yeah.
but who pick her out on some level and bully her to a place where she can't recover. And I wanted to make sure, when the original script I read was very heavy on the supernatural and on sort of this witch idea, and I actually did not like that. I feel that's sort of a cop-out sometimes I wanted to know who was Edith and what was her problem, which is the question every actor has to ask of a character, really.
Right.
And for me, the idea that these kids eroded her self-confidence and her self-image and made her life basically unbearable, which is what bullying can do to somebody. It can definitely play with your mental health and with your self-image and self-love, which without you are a very unhappy and terrified individual usually. You gotta love, you gotta feel good about yourself. And so the journey that these children basically take her on create a story that she takes you on. And I don't want to say too much more about it.
Right.
And any of the supernatural elements, I think, are sort of a metaphor in a way for our own personal hells and what each person lives with that creates the behavior that they exhibit later. And so it's got a lot of very, I think, kind of important themes that are woven into this piece of a very scary entertainment. And so that was something I always appreciate telling a story about something that's real. And I think that is a real theme in our culture right now, too. It's about bullying and hatred and something to be thought about and investigated.
That's awesome. Well, I gotta say, seeing you and Tobin Bell together, that alone just blew me away. Because, like you said, you're from Insidious, he's from Saw, and have you two to have you two play this couple, and it's like, in a way, he's kind of like a mastermind himself. It's like he's doing Jigsaw all over again. Not so much torturing people, but he's just like, he just points the thing, go to that room, and then it's like he's telling them what to do, and then that's where everything looks like it's going to fall into place. What was it like working with Tobin?
I never met him, which is kind of crazy because, and the only, the other icon I've worked with, of course, is Robert Englund, and I've known Robert for years, though. But Tobin, I was always a fan of his work. I loved his face. I mean, I think he's got one of the most beautiful film faces ever. He's just got that. It's interesting. The camera tells the truth on some level, and you really see into him through his work on some in some regard. So anyway, it was wonderful to meet him, and there was we had very little chit chat or conversation. It was really all about the characters' relationship and real mutual love and respect, which was there from the get-go. I mean, I really, just saying hello to him, the relationship was there. So he's wonderful to work with. I really adored being around him. I really trusted him 100%. He's a real listener, and he really gives of himself to you in the scene, and that's what it's all about. I mean, if you don't have that, there's no magic. There's no chemistry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's I felt the chemistry like from the moment I saw you two together in the trailer where they show you in the daycare. I'm like, that's amazing how they come out. So I gotta ask this stuff. Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. You go ahead.
I was just gonna say that he defends me. You know, he takes care of me, which is such a beautiful theme. You know, even though the way he does it has horrific consequences, but that he's the protector, firmly by me, which is extraordinary.
Awesome. So I gotta ask this: the four our four little potential victims there. What was it like working with them, and if they were did you give them like advice on anything on the set, or you just like went all out?
Well, I didn't. You know, I always assume everybody comes to set prepared, and you know, with our vulnerabilities and our problems and our questions, because there's always some.
Yeah.
You know, nobody, as they say, nobody's perfect. I remember there was one thing I did where I could not remember this one line, and I suggested it my fellow actor. I said, "How could that happen? How could it happen?" He looked at me, he said, "Because you're human." So there you have that. Yeah. But these four actors were just wonderful, and Chester Rushing, who plays Chris, and Aaron Sanders, who plays Tanya. It's kind of not unnerving, but always unexpected that they have a preconceived idea of me from what they've seen me do, and they're always a little bit in the beginning. I don't even know how to describe it, because I'm just like a regular jerk. I'm just like I mean, I'm as stupid as everybody, as smart as everybody. I don't know. I mean, I'm exactly like you are in every regard, and I don't see myself any different just because I happen to be in some movies and stuff. But people get an idea, and it's a little bit, you know, they're a little tentative when they approach you or whatever.
Yeah, they get a little intimidated.
In particular was so sweet, and you know, he was so happy to meet me, and I was very happy to meet him. I mean, I was very excited to meet him. I was as excited to meet him as he was to meet me. So I felt like if anybody asked me a question about something, I'll always try to solve the problem. You know, especially if it's part of the scene, and I'll try to solve anybody's problem, even if it's not in the scene. So we all got along great. It was like I felt very supported by them and very appreciated by them, which are all really positive moments, you know, both as Lynn and as the character and as an actress. So you couldn't ask for more than that. And they were also really gifted actors. So it was totally fun. Mostly Chester and Aaron were the characters I worked with the most on set. And they were just great. I mean, just great. And they did a beautiful job in the film, I think, too. So I learned from them the same kind of thing they think they learned from me. That's all I can say.
That's awesome. So you're keeping pretty busy. Is there any new stuff that you're working on that you can talk about?
I did, right as the pandemic was getting underway, I did a film called The American Boogeyman that Daniel Ferrand directed.
Oh, love his work.
That's really going to be, it's about Ted Bundy, and I play Ted Bundy's mom. And it's going to be gnarly, very gnarly.
It sounds like Psycho.
This mother is a piece of work. I mean, in real life, she was a piece of work. And so the way I tried to play it was I wanted to show her interior, because she pretty much only shows you her exterior in these interviews. But you can see all this stuff simmering under her.
Oh, wow.
So that was really fun. I don't know when that will get a release, but it will. Chad Michael Murray is playing Ted Bundy.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, So that's good. And then there was another real quick thing. It's called We Are Gathered Here Today, that was done on Zoom. That's about a pandemic, a COVID victim, a patriarch of a family, a real virile guy, and he's dying of COVID. And the family, it's all about the calls between him and his wife and his whole family. All these family secrets and problems sort of come forward because they trying to deal with this man dying.
Yeah.
And it's just great. I'm trying to think. There's some terrific actors in it. I don't know if it's listed at all anywhere, but that will be, they're hoping to do like a Netflix thing with that. And I'm in a video game also, which is going to be coming out next year, called The Quarry. It's a big, digital domain. It's a big game. I've never done those before with motion capture and all that.
Oh, wow.
So that's going to be a crazy thing. And otherwise, I just want to see a new government.
Yep.
And the world trying to get back on track. Please, 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 please vote. And please, I mean, can't we get rid of this guy?
Yes, the fans, you hear this, fans, right?
Now, on another note, I can tell you how to buy tickets for the call.
There you go. You can do that.
They can be purchased in advance at Fandango.com and AtomTickets.com, and that's ATOM tickets.com. And there's going to be a full list of all the theaters where it's playing on thecallmovie.com next week. So I hope everybody will try and see it in the theaters, and mostly at the drive-in. It's a great drive-in movie, I think. And you are so wonderful to talk to. I thank you so much for reaching out to us and to me.
Yeah,
and,
definitely.
It's a real pleasure to talk to you.
Same here. I mean, like I said, it's the third time already. I'm like, that's a first for me. I've never talked to anyone 3 times like that. But
3 is the charm. Wait a minute, there might be a 4th. Get ready.
I'll be ready. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's just put it that way.
Well, I'm honored. Seriously, I'm really honored. That makes me feel really good. I love what I get to do, and I love sharing my thoughts about life and really what making movies is about for me, which is telling the truth in public. And I sincerely mean that. I mean, I sometimes think that's why I maybe relate to people relate to me, because I don't make up stories. I only interpret stories.
Yeah, exactly. So the call is coming out this Friday, and to see 2 icons together for the first time, you and Tobin Bell, and this sounds like it's going to be a really scary movie, a really good film. And Lin, thank you so much again, and I hope you continue in success and just keep going with it. Just keep rolling.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, Albert. You know, you're always a great interviewer for me too. So stay healthy, stay well, be nice. Don't be mean.
I got it.
Be mean, please.
Nope, I won't. Don't worry.
Okay.
You got it. All right, you take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.